I am here today to talk to you about the most fundamental truth of human existence, the power of success, and the absolute necessity of vision. You see, the world is full of people who are busy, but very few who are actually going somewhere. The first and most critical rule of success is to have a vision. If you do not have a clear picture of where you want to go, and if you do not have a defined goal, you will simply drift around in the vast ocean of life. You might be moving, you might be working, you might be struggling, but you will never end up anywhere meaningful. Imagine a ship without a rudder. It has a powerful engine and a massive hull, but without a destination and a captain to steer it, it is destined to crash or rot at sea. That is how most people live their lives, and that is why they feel unfulfilled. My own journey started in a very different world. I was born in 1947 in a small village in Austria, just after the devastation of the Second World War. Back then, life was predictable and narrow. The people around me had a very specific vision for my life. My parents, my teachers, and my neighbors all expected me to follow the traditional path. Stay in Austria, become a farmer or perhaps a factory worker, marry a local girl, and live a normal life. But that was their vision, not mine. I felt a divine restlessness in my soul. I knew from a very young age that I was not meant to occupy a small space. I felt I was born for something unique, something monumental, something that would shake the world. The turning point came when I was 11 years old. I remember being in a classroom when they showed us a documentary about America. As those black and white images flickered on the screen, I saw a world that looked like a dream. I saw skyscrapers that pierced the clouds, massive bridges that defied gravity, and 6-lane freeways that represented ultimate freedom. While the other kids were just watching a film, I was looking at my future. I said to myself, that is where I belong. I decided right then that I would not spend my life in those little farmhouses. I was going to get to the land of opportunity. But a vision needs a blueprint, and I found mine in a small store in Graz. I saw a magazine with Reg Park on the cover. He was a 3-time Mr. Universe, and I had seen him in the big screen as Hercules. As I read his story, I realized that his life was the map for mine. He used bodybuilding as a vehicle to get into the movies and become a global icon. In that moment, the fog of my future cleared away. I knew exactly what I had to do. I was going to become a bodybuilding champion just like him. I was going to make millions, become famous, and conquer Hollywood. Do you have any idea how powerful it feels to finally know where you are going? Most people live in a state of perpetual confusion, but the moment I found my vision, I was filled with an incredible sense of relief. Suddenly, the hard work didn't feel like work anymore. People used to watch me in the gym during the pumping iron days, and they were confused. They would see me lifting massive weights for 5 or 6 hours a day, pushing my body past the point of total exhaustion, yet I always had a massive smile on my face. They would ask, "Arnold, how can you be so happy when you are in so much pain?" And I would tell them, I am smiling because every single rep I do brings me one step closer to the Mr. Universe title. Every set, every squat, every drop of sweat was not a burden, it was a brick in the temple of my dreams. When you have a purpose, the struggle becomes a joy. Unfortunately, the majority of the world lives without this joy. Statistics show that nearly 74% of people hate their jobs. This isn't just an American problem, it's a global epidemic. People are miserable not because their work is hard, but because they are drifting. They take a job because they need to pay the bills, not because it serves a higher purpose. When you work without a vision, every hour feels like a chore. It is exhausting. But when you are a medical student who wants to be a great doctor, or an athlete who wants to be a champion, the long hours don't matter because you are chasing a dream. The same clarity followed me into politics. I remember when I decided to run for governor of California. People told me I was crazy. They said I should start small, run for a local office first. But I had a vision of leading the 5th largest economy in the world. Because I wasn't born in America, I couldn't run for president, so the governor's office was my ultimate goal. And despite the critics, I became the governor because I knew exactly what I wanted to achieve. This brings me to the second rule of success: ignore the naysayers. Throughout my entire life, the most common word I heard was no. People told me it was impossible to become a bodybuilding champion as a tall Austrian. They said it was impossible for me to become a leading man in Hollywood because of my thick accent and my weird name. They said it was impossible for me to win an election. But every time someone said no, I heard yes. Every time they said it was impossible, I heard it is possible. I chose to believe what Nelson Mandela said, that everything is impossible until someone actually does it. I decided I would be the one to prove them wrong. I worked on my acting. I took accent removal classes. I studied day and night. My first movie was a disaster, but I didn't let that stop me. I kept my vision in sight, and eventually, the very things the critics hated became my greatest strengths. My body, which they said was too big, became perfect for Conan the Barbarian. My accent, which they said was too robotic, became the defining voice of the Terminator. If I had listened to those losers, I would still be in Austria. So my message to you is simple. Find your vision. Don't let the world tell you how big you are allowed to dream. When someone tells you your idea is stupid, ignore them. They are only talking about their own limitations, not yours. You have to have a purpose that is bigger than your excuses. If you can see it in your mind and you are willing to work for it without listening to the noise of the world, you will achieve it. Don't just exist. Don't just take up space. Have a vision, work your tail off, and turn your life